Oh, seems like we're live. Wingy Boxing Podcast, number 2. What's up? We have Hack Boxer in the place. What's going on, Hack?
What's good, man? All good, all good. Great weekend.
It was a good weekend, man. It was a... Triple G, how could you do this to a boy? Good weekend. Rob, what's going on, Rob, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. You?
Good. Yeah, not bad. Thank you very much. Any sort of thoughts straight away off your head? What's the most impact you've had from the weekend?
Was probably the Murray GGG fight. It was a good fight, to be fair, I reckon.
Hold on a minute. This is actually me mucking that up. Carry on.
No, I think the Murray fight was a good fight. But a lot of people say it wasn't at all competitive. I think it was. It was getting there, but obviously he was too much for him, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I've got that. We'll definitely get onto that in a bit more detail. Right, those of you, if you are watching on... In fact, we'll get back to that in a minute. If you're watching on YouTube, ask your questions in the description box. Any questions you got for us? I know you're sitting there with your missus. I know you want to have a little fumble, but it's not that time. It's boxing time. Ask your questions in the box, and then we'll ask it to the crew. If you want to get on the Wingy Boxing Podcast, there's 3 ways to do it. Send me an email if anybody uses email these days. wingyboxing@hotmail.com. Got a new email. Woo! And then I'll send you the link as long as you're not dodgy. Second way to get on is Facebook. Go to the Wingy Boxing Facebook group and send me a message there, and I'll get you on. Or everyone's joining in. It's wicked, man. Or what's the third way? Oh, Rob, what's the third way, man? I forgot the third way. Oh,
Twitter, Skype.
Oh, that's the one. That thing they use, Twitter, isn't it?
How could you forget?
Twitter. Get hold of me on Twitter. A UKWC student, send me a direct message, or Skype, Wingy Boxing. Say you want to get on, and I'll send you the link. You know, but I'll check you out. I'll see what you're up to because I don't trust dodgy fuckers. Let's get on to this. Right, there was an announcement. My old mate Floyd Mayweather, he rang me up and he goes, "Right, Wing on, mate. I've got something to announce. Make sure you got the Shots app downloaded because I'm going to tell you something." Went to a Shots app, and what do we see? The fight is announced. Hack Boxer, you said to me last time, I do not want to talk about it until it is official. I've had enough. My heart's been broken too many times. How do you feel now, Hack Boxer, mate? Tell me your feelings. Tell me your excitement. Shoot!
Well, that's it, man. I was so upset waiting for the fight to happen. I was one of the guys that jumped on the hype back in the day, 6 years ago, when it was really, really 50-50. I was just really, really buying into it. I was watching all Mayweather's highlights, all Pacquiao's highlights. I was just getting myself really, really excited. And it just dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. And it just got to that point where that's it. I just wanted to shut out my life. I didn't want to hear about it. Didn't want to see it. Didn't care about it. Wasn't ever going to happen. That was it. I put it to rest. But now it's finally, I don't know, I'm still shell-shocked. I can't really put it into words, you know. I'm still shocked. Like, this is what we've been talking about for so long. It doesn't seem real, does it? Yeah, it still feels like a dream. I don't think it's fully hit me yet. But, boy, it's a great thing for boxing, great thing for the fans. There's going to be a huge amount of people that don't usually watch boxing. They're going to be watching this. So it's going to do good things for the sport as a whole. Hopefully the fight itself lives up to the hype, because a lot of people are saying the fight itself won't even be competitive. Mayweather's too much for him now. Pacquiao's past it, blah, blah, blah. Me personally, I think they both declined a bit. I think if you look at Mayweather versus Maidana, I mean, he got hit a few times. He was getting jabbed. He was getting hit with shots here and there. He got roughed up in the first fight. I mean, he won them both clearly on my scorecard, but I still think he looks a bit his age, as does Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao's sort of changed his style. He's adapted a bit to his age. He's slowed down a bit. He's not throwing a million punches a second, just blowing guys away. He's thinking about what he's doing more. He's picking his shots. So, yeah, I still think it's a competitive fight. I don't think he's Floyd blows him away or Manny blows him away. I think it's competitive. I think it's there for the taking. If I had to pick, I'd still go with Floyd. But I'm one of the guys that I always picked Floyd to beat him from back in the day. I'm not just basing that on one guy looking old or whatever. So, yeah, great fight, man. Great fight. I just can't wait. It's going to be a long 3 months, but...
yeah, it will be, won't it?
Yeah, I'm just... with all the promotion and everything, but yeah, man, I'm gonna finally get hyped up without having to worry about getting disappointed. So yeah, man, it's all good.
Good. That was good, mate. Nice one. Hold on, everybody. Just if you could, if you please, if you're listening, watch your ears, because my boys just entered. Future Chad! What's going on, Jabbo? Yeah, you good?
Yeah, good. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Right, come to you in a minute, 2 seconds, Jab. We're just talking about this Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao kind of small little fucking announcement, which I thought they'd just, drop out there. Rob, how do you feel about this? What was your thoughts when you first heard about the news? In fact, you was one of the first people who I know who knew, because you put it on my Facebook.
Oh yeah, I was just like, finally, because I first heard of it back in, I think maybe late December. I heard about it all coming up again.
Right.
And it got really I thought it was getting close again. It was just built on. I thought, oh no, it's just gonna be another year and no fight. And then my phone just started going mental. And I looked down. Obviously, I seen the contract. I was like, oh, thank God for that. And then obviously, like Hack Boxer says, a lot of people just saying it's not going to be competitive at all. They're already downplaying the fight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get onto that in a minute. You're ready to go for that. Right, someone's got the TV on the background. Can you turn it down because of copyright issues? Because I'll hear stuff. People will see me. My whole channel will get shut down. Wingy Boxing will be closed. And the one person's got the TV on will be responsible for the entire Wingy Boxing movement closing when I get shut down through copyright. So, cheers, guys. I'm joking. Right, okay. And that's my thoughts. Right, that's Rob's thoughts. Even future Jab. What are your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao being announced? Where were you when it was announced, and how excited was you? How many backflips did you do?
About 5, mate, to be honest. I was watching the news. Wingy broke the news. I heard the exclusive from Wingy, so that was...
Oh, well, you know how it is. Don't please, no credit, carry on. Keep rocking, baby, go on.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Honestly, this is like... People of our age, this is our second mega fight. Tyson Lewis, remember the buzz around that one. This has got to be even bigger, I feel. This is finally, that's all I can say.
It is literally like the title. I was exactly thinking that. For me, like there's people out there who've got really rich knowledge of history and that. For me, my boxing history is the same as yours, I think, Jab. Naz, Eubank, that's to us our early days. So my first mega fight wasn't Hagler and Hearns and shit like that. I'd have been like fucking 2 years old or some stupid shit. My first mega fight was Tyson and Lewis. If you remember, across the middle of the ring, the security guards, and by that point, Tyson wasn't the force he used to be, but still had that scary danger, didn't he? And it was that was our mega fight back then. So this one here is ours right now. I was sitting, putting my feet up. I was about to play a game, and then my phone went bananas, and then I just saw everybody telling me about it. And I stopped for a few moments, and I did just sit there, and a golden shimmering tear just fell like that. And then finally, I looked, and yeah, it was announced. Really happy, over the moon, cannot believe it. I just want everything to go smoothly from this point forward. I have a feeling it will. One thing I do want to know, I am already kind of seeing people going, well, Pacquiao is really not that good, really, is he? Pacquiao, well, we know Floyd's going to beat him. No, in my opinion, you have to hold your same view. I think, like Hack Boxer said, it's a competitive fight. I've said it all along. I think it's going to be the type of fight similar to Cotto Floyd, not in style-wise, but in the pressure that Floyd's put under. I don't think, why is Manny Pacquiao, who we know is offensively very good, and as Hack Boxer pointed out, you're exactly right, mate, Pacquiao has adjusted how he fights. I've seen it, you can see it clearly. He used to sort of come forward in bursts, and he used to attack from all angles, all sorts of sides. Now he sort of holds back a little bit, doesn't he? He holds back, then he'll go in, hold back, and you can see, because he knows he's slowing down. And with that, no matter what anybody says, I'm a Floyd fan, but I saw that Floyd Mayweather was getting hit by Maidana, and I don't care what anybody says, that's still Marcos Maidana. Floyd should have done, in my opinion, in the first fight, a little bit better. Second fight, he did do better, but there is a slow decline. So to me, it's a competitive fight, and I'm just glad it's here. Anybody got any final thoughts on the big fight?
Yeah, I mean, they've both adapted to their age. It's not like one's adapted and the other one hasn't. Yeah. I think they've both adapted to their age. Floyd throws less, but he picks what he does well. Manny, same thing, he throws less, but like you said, he comes in, does what he needs to do, gets out. it's a really good fight, competitive. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I don't see any guy getting knocked out. I think it's going to go the distance. I hope to God there's not a robbery. Let's hope CJ Ross is not the judge. Yeah. And yeah, man. Can't wait.
Well, what I'm going to if you guys are all right with it, I'm just going to get hold of Ian John Lewis and see if he can sort it out.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, come on, whoa. What's wrong with that? Yeah, get Ian John in there. Your mate Ian, he can get in there. It's quite funny.
Keep the British refs away from this one, please.
It's quite funny. Someone goes to me, "Oh, you would support Ian John Lewis. You've got ties with him." Well, all I did was get hold of him over Facebook and say, "Can I have a signed copy of your book, mate?" He goes, "Oh yeah." You still got to pay for it. I'm like, fucking great. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. With regards to how the fight goes, who wins it, obviously you'd lean to Floyd, but for me, it's not. I don't see a whitewash. I've said it for the longest. I don't see Floyd going in there. Some people saying he'll win every round, sort of like 11-1. That's not saying Floyd's not good. I just think it's underestimating Manny Pacquiao just a little bit. Floyd's the better boxer, but Pacquiao still has changes and he's adapted his game. I think it's more competitive. Anybody else got any final thoughts on that for now? We might come back to it if someone else wants to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely competitive. The work rate of Manny. If to say throws 100 punches and lands 30, and Floyd throws 40, lands 30, it work out they land the same amount, but the work rate you're going to have to count, or you're going to have to score that, aren't you? So like Hack said, I can't see anyone getting knocked out. So it's going to be purely on points, and it's going to be. I think it will be. Well, I don't even want to say it. It's going to be too close on the cards.
Oh, don't say that! That's my concern. I honestly do think it's going to be like a 7-5-ish type of fight. And, oh, God, have everyone moaning again about, well, you know who really? Oh, for fuck's sake. All right,
I hope you're prepared for all the people. You know what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, yeah, but if this happened back in so-and-so's prime, this would have been different.
Yeah,
that would have happened. So you can't win, you know what I mean? It reminds me, Calzaghe versus Roy Jones. You always get the people, oh yeah, but if Roy Jones was younger, he would have beat Calzaghe. But then again, Calzaghe was old himself. Oh, all these great. Tyson Lewis even, this fight happened 10 years too late. This should have happened 10 years ago. You can't win. You're going to get people that moan from either side. It's not going to completely shut up the Pactars and the Flomos. You're still going to carry on, I think. But I'm glad this happening.
At the end of the day, they're both still the best they're still the best out there, so no one can really moan about it, can they?
Yeah, but you're always going to get guys that says, he was more past it than he was.
Oh, yeah, he's 7 months older, so he must.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even Oscar De La Hoya come out and says something like, well, back in the day, Floyd, Manny would have beaten Floyd really easily, and it's like, for fuck's sake, Oscar, mate, let the fight happen first.
Exactly.
Jabbo, me old mate, how do you think the fight will play out? How do you see it playing out? Do you see Floyd Mayweather getting in there and thinking, oh, my knees have gone, the age, I can feel the age, and then Pacquiao's going to get in there and dust him off, or will Pacquiao's calves be a little bit, need a bit of a massagey? Future Jab, how does this one go, brother?
I've always seen it the same way. It's a close fight. Floyd, I feel, takes most rounds, but the rounds will be close within himself. I think he'll take 7-8 rounds quite easy.
Cool. All right then. Okay, I'll move on for now. Unless anybody else, in fact, let's start the next topic and then see if anyone else wants to get in or whatever. Okay. It breaks my heart to do this because he was so brave in the ring, but we've got to talk about it. Triple G, Martin Murray. I thought Martin Murray done exactly how us lot, or all us lot here, like no diss to the non-UK crew, but we know about Murray, do you know what I mean? So we all knew Murray was tough. We all knew Murray could sort of last this distance and do well. But me personally, I know there's people out there who are going to go, well, Murray was shit, GGG should have took him out. Me personally, I thought the fact that Murray was so tough and Golovkin was so determined, bam, it was just destruction for me. Oh, God, it's painful at the end. It really was painful. Seeing Murray all bloodied up and stuff like that. GGG is a beast. He's a beast. Rob, what do you think of GGG? Who's going to stop this beast?
Oh, I don't know who can stop him. I think, like you said, on your video, I think you said you want him to clean out the division. I would I would like to see him fight some interesting fighters, like even Eubank Jr. I'd like to see him fight. Like maybe not now, but
you're cruel, man. You're fucking cruel.
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I've heard reports about him sparring the Cuban heavyweights and doing holding his own, but I don't know. It's like I said before. It's obviously styles, isn't it? It's an awkward one. It's the way people fight each other is just determines the fight, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so I think his come forward style. I think
it'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I think he'd be the only one to be able to like actually try and push him back the most, and maybe Lemieux as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's a good point. I'll crack up and laugh, but in all reality, you haven't got a good point. You know that Eubank Jr. is going to come forward. He can box, but I think he likes to engage. Eubank Jr. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would definitely go forward. Same with Lemieux. That'd be a great fight. I'd like that fight.
I think that's what's needed with Triple G. To be honest, I think that's exactly what's needed. I think someone needs to bring in the fight, not let him bring the fight to you.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. 2 seconds. Right. It's ringing on Skype. Hold on 2 minutes. Right. Let's go to Hack. Hack, give me your thoughts. What do you think about Triple G and Murray? How did you think about it? What do you think about the destruction? And do you think that Triple G can beat Quato?
Absolutely. I think he'll probably kill Quato, judged by how he's looking lately. I mean, I don't even see that being competitive. I'm sorry, but I think he'll just absolutely take him apart. As for the Murray fight, when I broke down the fight, I said there's a good chance it could go 12. It went 11, so I was close enough for me. I thought it would be a longer distance fight. I couldn't see Triple G getting rid of him that easy, even though he almost did early on with the body shots. But I just know Murray is so tough, so much heart, so much determination. Murray said in the build-up, most people beat before they get in there, and he was determined not to let that happen to him. So Murray, he looked like he was in the right mindset to face Triple G. He has a tight defense, good technique, but once he got in there and he started feeling them, he was just on the back foot, and you could just see in his face, he was just slowly and surely, as Triple G was chipping away, he was just becoming a broken man, and eventually it just became too much. But I think Martin Murray showed great heart. I mean, I could see most middleweights staying down after that first body shot and just saying, nah, that's enough for me, man.
Yeah, I'm out.
yeah, that's enough. But he just kept going, and then he started coming back with his own little flurries towards the end. So yeah, man, he made it a really good fight. I love Martin Murray, and the fact that he wanted the fight when everyone else is trying to run for the hills.
He's proper brave, isn't he? Murray's
proper brave, and I could see him in there in a lot more great fights. Maybe be champion again one day, but it just wasn't his night, man. He was in there with someone who's just on another level.
Future Jab, what are your thoughts on Golovkin-Murray fight, mate?
Pretty much the same. I think down to me. Never give a minute to think.
Yo, your signal's breaking up, mate. You sound like you've been invaded by aliens, brother. Come on. Yo, Stuart, man, you're dropping shit. Everything's echoing in the background. Come on, mate. Future Jab, can you hear me? Jabbo? Brilliant. Stuart Little, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. I don't know what's happened to Future Jab. Jab's gone. Anyway, we're talking about first of all, how are you, brother? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You've not been very well lately, so been getting some early nights.
It's because you've been kicking off in the streets again, innit? Going up to people, kicking off, tipping over chairs. You fucking mug, innit?
Yes, yeah, something like that. Sorry about noise. Sorry about noise in the background. I'll sort these dogs out in a minute. But yeah, I mean, not been too well. So I wanted a break from boxing. I mean, staying up late, 4 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday to talk about Carl Dargan and boxeo. It's not good for the health, is it?
No. Do you know what? Boxeo. I like box. Did you watch the heavyweight one?
I must admit, I gave that one a miss.
It was good viewing, man. Right. Anyway, Triple G, Martin Murray. What do you think of that fight? Give me a breakdown. What would you do if I said to you, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I love playing devil's advocate with you, mate. It's just good fun. What would you do if I said to you, put that Triple G? He's overrated, isn't he? He's overrated. Why didn't he beat Murray in the first round?
I'd say you've been to Jamaica spoken to some of that fucking wacky,
isn't So tell me, what did you think of the fight, then, man?
I mean, Martin Murray, he showed the heart of a lion. He's a tough guy, Martin Murray. He's built granite, but GGG is just a laser cutter. He'll go for anything. And I just don't see a man on the planet that could fucking beat this guy. I mean, just relentless beating Martin Murray took. And, you know, I feel for Martin Murray because that probably took a few years off his career. You know, he was a very proud man in there, but sometimes you got to know when to call it a day. And I thought Oliver Harrison was a disgrace. I really did. You know, I used to like Oliver Harrison, but disgraceful what he did. I mean, Martin Murray was never going to win that fight. To win that fight, he had to knock Golovkin out, and he wasn't even fucking touching Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin looked like he went for a facial after that fight, didn't he?
Well, the thing is, at some point, I think to myself, I always debate with people with regards to Golovkin's defense. Sometimes some people say, "Oh, it's brilliant," sometimes not. I don't think Golovkin's defense was actually an issue last night. He was getting hit, but here's what I think is the scary thing.
Yeah.
I think the reason, exactly.
Yeah, he was just walking.
Yeah, the reason he was
just walking
because he felt he could
if
take.
He knew that was a big punch. He'd be moving his head, blocking, but Martin Murray just weren't affecting him at all.
And he just felt to walk through. There was one point where he hit him around the head, and first time I've seen Golovkin, he just went like that, didn't he? Do you remember? And then just carried on coming forward.
Well, Curtis Stevens hit him with this monster hook that would have
I remember that. Yeah,
most people into orbit, and all Golovkin did was blink. I mean,
I remember when he hit him with that hook.
That was the day I thought this man's gonna take some stopping. I tell you.
And of course, kind of like Chris Algieri's infamous cage, Curtis Stevens has always got that woo on his face now. So, Future Jab, mate, are you there? Future Jab, hello. Brilliant. Let's move on to. He's gone now. Who's that watching TV? Okay, somebody's watching Hackbox. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. That's not me watching TV.
Yeah, that's Stuart. Yeah, Stuart, you're displaying the TV at the moment, mate.
What's he doing?
We got to see, only on the Wingy Boxing Podcast, you got to see the face of Stuart Little.
Yeah, that's an exclusive right there.
Right, 2 people have just dropped out. I don't know why they dropped out. So, this is the thing of doing this podcast live. Right. Let's talk about Smith and Abraham. Hackboxer, man. You're holding me down. Respect, brother. Oh, shit. I've got to send a link to Compact. Let me do that now. Right. Compact. Hackboxer, tell me about your thoughts on Smith and Abraham 2. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was a good fight. Fair play to Paul Smith, man. He showed the heart of a lion in there. I think it got to a point where he knew he weren't going to win, but he just wanted to give it his all anyway. And he just... I mean, Arthur Abraham's like a brick wall, like he said. You can just hit him with a sledgehammer and you just keep walking you down.
He does, doesn't he?
With that rock-like head of his, all the shots just bounce off him like they're nothing. The guy's just made of granite and he just kept walking him down and he looked a lot better than he did the first time round. I think maybe he didn't take it as serious as he should have the first time round. Second time round, he really turned up and Paul Smith couldn't really hang in there with him. I mean... Smith's best moments was when he was banging away at Abraham's body because I could see they were affecting him. I mean, there was one point he caught him with, I think it was a uppercut to the body, left uppercut, and it really hurt him, but then he didn't jump on him. I think if he went to the body a little bit more, he might have had more success. But either way, Abraham's the better man on the night. Too tough, too solid, too rugged, and you know, fair play to Paul Smith. He's tough, he's done well, but that's it. That's as good as it gets for him, I think.
That's a good observation. I noticed that early on, Smith was like, you could see him visibly dig into the body the first few rounds. Then it kind of dipped, and I actually noticed that. I thought Smith didn't start off too bad. He was on the front foot. He was going forward. He was trying to push it. I'll rob you back. You're right, mate.
Yeah, just kids moving.
Pop off. No worries. Smith was going forward. He was trying to push it. Then I noticed like a dip in Smith's like work rate, and then he said in the post-fight interview he got hit or hurt, didn't he? Like a body shot or something, and that's what dropped him.
Yeah.
And for me, what the issue was in the fight, it's not like Abraham was overwhelming Smith all the time and Smith wasn't doing anything. When Smith was attacking Abraham, Abraham had his typical guard up like that, and nothing was happening. Bang, 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 bang. When Abraham was doing it, it was like bang, 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 knocking Smith's head all over the show. So it kind of looked better for Abraham in his performance. I think Smith was good in the post-fight. I like how he was. He didn't moan or anything. He said, "Yeah, this time I legitimately lost." Let's go to Rob. What are your thoughts on the Smith and Abraham rematch? What do you think of that?
Oh, I thought it was going to be a sort of a replay of the last fight. Paul Smith didn't move as much as I didn't think. I just didn't think he employed the same tactics as well. I think he was trying. I think he did think he was at a hard enough punch to knock him out. I think that's what he was going for.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Abraham, he was excellent, wasn't he? To be honest, he knew exactly when he could push him back. He thought, I'm going to push him back to the ropes. I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy. And that seemed to be the case. He did get hurt. He got really hurt by that body shot. He looked over at his corner. He stumbled back. Smith didn't jump on him. I don't know why he didn't jump on him. He just sort of stayed back, looking at him. I think he was a bit hesitant in this fight, to be honest. But yeah, he was graceful in defeat. He didn't moan like you said. I think it was a good fight though. It was a good fight. It was a good one. But the commentary, don't get me started on that. Jim Watt. Jim Watt. Yeah, my God. Oh. I'm not even going to comment on it.
No, you can't. Go ahead. This is raw, brother. Open up. Talk to me.
I think it's just biased is the word. I think it's just some of the things he comes out with are just ridiculous. I thought
And next time we got Jim Watt. Now, go on. Why is he biased?
As long as the other, it's hard to explain. It's just
he just gets to you, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's just everything. If he just wants to see the. I know it's quite good. You want to see the positive, but he picks the positive as if that makes the other guy winning.
Yeah, I understand.
He just says, right, oh no, it's like, oh no, he's catching him though. It's like you got one punch in, Jim. Calm down.
Do you know what annoys me with Jim Watt? Whenever anyone catches a good shot, he just gets too excited and shouts out, "That was bang on the chin."
Yeah.
I used to be Team Jim Watt, and I was Team Jim Watt for a long time. But even I had to let go of that because things just started getting a little bit dodgy with Jim. I think the first thing which really hit me badly was the Pascal Butte scorecard. I think he had it to Butte or something, didn't he?
Yeah,
yeah. Stuart, mate, you there?
Winnie, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me, Winnie?
Yeah, I can hear you now, mate. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm having problems. So I'm in the Darren Barker doghouse, I call it. I'm with the dogs.
Well, you gave us an exclusive, man. You gave us an exclusive. You got to see the infamous Stuart Little.
Yeah, I've just took the dogs out. It's a chilling room. I call it the Darren Barker doghouse, and that's where the dogs stay because they fucking chew everything. So they're in here. So I sit in here with them sometimes. My signal's playing up because it's quite a distance from the house. So.
Oh, you're right now. You're right now. I can hear. Give me your thoughts on Smith and Abraham, mate. What did you think of that fight?
I knew Abraham was going to win it from the end of the first round.
Right. Okay.
Because he just looked a lot stronger. He just looked a lot more up for it. And to be honest with you, Paul Smith just wasn't affecting him all night. I mean, like mate, you said, I'm not sure who said it. I mean, you could have hit him with a fucking hammer, and he'd still, come forward. So Abraham was on his game. That's the best out of Abraham I've seen for a long time. I thought he was getting old and slow, and he's always been slow, but really slow. And I just thought, no, I'm not a fan of Abraham anymore. He's a bit of a donkey, but he did look good last night. But Paul Smith's just British level for me. He'll never be world level. So he's been knocked out by Groves and DeGale already. So Abraham was good, but we just have to look. Paul Smith had his day. Fighters like that, they get one chance and one chance only. You got to take it. And unfortunately, it didn't go his way on the first fight, but the second fight was just miles apart in class, I'm afraid.
It was a lot more gracious in defeat as well. Did you notice that? That was good, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, fucking hell, you know.
There's not much he can say. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, what's he going to say? Yeah, I think I nicked that one.
All right, cool.
Never
anybody
come to Germany again.
Anybody got any last thoughts on Smith v Abraham 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think Smith's done well to even get to this point where he's fighting for world titles. Because I remember when George Groves knocked him out in one punch, I thought that was it. This guy's just going to fade off into oblivion. But he's managed to get himself back on track, and he's had a pretty good run. He's done his best. Like Stuart said, this was his best chance at a world title. He just about fell short, but he was still made it a competitive fight. He was still in there from the first to the last bell, and he done his best. He just won his day. But as for his future, I don't know. Should he go back down to domestic level, or should he call it a day? What do you guys think?
That's what I was about to ask you, or you guys on the crew. Do you think that Smith now has like a future? Do you think he's done for? Me personally,
well, no, he's got a future winning.
Yeah, I still want to see him. I still want to see him fight. What's your future for him?
Well, Eddie Hearn was saying that you could be talking Stieglitz next for him, or
oh really?
Sturm. Stieglitz or Sturm. So he's made himself a name in Germany. So because let's be real, no one.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they want to see him fight again.
Yeah,
I mean, So Eddie Hearn reckons there's a good future for him, but obviously I can't see him winning a belt. I mean, I'm going to be obvious.
The thing I'm concerned about whether he can sort of like win a belt is whether he can get that same motivation again. Like we know he was really fucking fired up for this rematch, wasn't he? This was it for him. Do you think he could get that again, or do you think it's gone now? Do you understand what I'm saying?
He had his one chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of. I don't know if I was thinking that or not.
It's a bit like Groves with Froch. He had his chance to beat Froch in the first one. I just didn't fancy him. I didn't think Froch was going to make the same mistakes twice, and he didn't. That's how I felt. How Abraham was. Took it lightly the first fight, got a shock, took it serious the second one, and won comfortably. And that's a bit similar, really.
Well, the thing is, if he can fight again in Germany, and for it to be on a big stage and get watched by loads of people again, why not do it again? Why not get paid? You know what I mean? You've got to think of the money.
Yeah, I hear that. I think what's a good point what Stuart said about, I forgot about that, quite obviously the German people are going to see him scrap, see that he's a fiery, passionate, he's going forward, he's trying to maintain the fight. I think, yeah, we'll see him back there again. So, fair play to him. All right, let's move on quick. Did anybody watch David Price going up against Costa Jr.?
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing before you move on, Winnie?
Yeah, brother, yeah, go.
You know who Abraham's mandatory is?
Go on.
Robert Stieglitz.
Oh, they really work it, didn't they? They really work it.
I know. Them Germans, they know how to fucking hold a belt, don't they?
Robert Stieglitz, awesome. All right, moving on. Right, David Price, Costa Jr. Did any of you lot see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Well, okay, we'll go with Rob because he sounded the most excited about it. Tell me about it.
Well, it's at the end of the day, it's Costa Jr. He's got one style of fighting. That's it. That's all he can do. He can just. It's very slow play. It's very slow paced. It's like he's never really attacking. As soon as he tries to walk down some people, and David Price was just jabbing him. He looked all right, David. But well, I'm not sure I agree with Eddie Hearn that he's gone backwards. Not exactly. I don't think he's gone forwards, but I don't think he's gone backwards.
Mate, I hate to put you on blast like this. 3 months' time, David Price, Anthony Joshua. How does the fight go? Speak.
How does it go? Going by boxing, it'd be Joshua. But I think anyone who takes a hit off either goes down. And I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it can happen that soon. I think if Joshua fought Johnson back in January and won, I think it would be a fight for the summer.
I understand, yeah.
But because now he's fighting in April, I don't think. I don't know. It could happen this year, and I think. But I do think Joshua wins. To be fair.
I'd put you on the spot, so I'd have to say it. Do you know what? I actually liked that David Price. I saw a couple of YouTube videos and people were like, "Oh shit!" I actually liked it. I like how he was patient. I like how he didn't go rushing in there. I saw some looks. I saw him doing the chin.
His defence has really improved, I think.
That's what I noticed. His defence has really improved. He looked really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. A lot of people
obviously he's still hesitant because that's what happens when you get knocked out twice.
hit.
Yeah, so but I liked he was patient, like you said, and I like what he's doing now. I mean, some of them defensive, like you said, he was rolling.
He was.
Yeah, he was. He had the Philly shout.
And it was actually nice to see him with a bit of rhythm because usually he's like the fucking Tin Man anyway.
Exactly. Great observation. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, I thought I liked how he picked his punch. And then if you notice, you guys probably noticed around like the third round, he's letting the right hand because Costa Jr. was pretty much up like that and he walking forward. It was just touching with the once he got comfortable, started touching with the right, and then after that he felt confidence, walked down a little bit more. And then, boom, took it out. So I thought it was a great win. I thought it was a really good win.
Yeah, I thought he looked in good shape as well. Usually he looks too heavy, but he looked quite trim as well. I think they're doing a good job with him as trainers. I really do.
Yeah, and I like how Sauerland brought him through. It's quite good. They've took him out of the spotlight for like a year, like 4 fights over there, and then they're bringing him back here this year. I think they're taking him...
That's what Paul Smith was talking about, going to Germany and starting again, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I'd be surprised to see him with Sauerland.
Okay, Hack Boxer, mate. What did you think of David Price's performance?
I hate to do this, but I'm going to disagree with everyone here.
Good.
I wasn't impressed, to be honest. I mean, the first 2 rounds, I'm surprised I never fell asleep because it looked like he was just putting minimum effort into it. He just didn't look like he offensively, he didn't look like he cared.
It's called gauge in the distance.
I know he wants to get the rounds and all this and that, but
you just want to see blood.
It's still boring, isn't it? But then when you
it's still boring, isn't it?
It is. But when you started picking it up a bit, I thought, okay, here we go.
You're great, mate. You're great.
Defensively, I disagree entirely. I thought that Philly shell looked stiff and awkward and forced. It's almost like a coach has taught him how to do it, and he's sort of forcing himself to do it. It doesn't look natural. He's not a Philly shell type of guy.
I'll let you carry on. Sorry to break in very quickly. Do you know what? I'll disagree with you because I thought his defense looked so slick. I actually thought it was Floyd Mayweather in there.
Oh my god! Listen, the Philly shell is not for him. It looks stiff. It looked awkward. I could just see someone taking him out. Him trying to fuck around doing that, going all flat-footed and trying to do a Philly shell. What are you doing, mate? That's not your style. Yeah. What are you doing? It's not you. It's like he's trying to force it too much. I mean, let's not pretend. Yeah, that guy was there to lose. He was fat. He was out of shape. He looked terrible. He was swinging for the hills. I could just imagine Anthony Joshua in there with that same guy, and I can imagine him just getting his head punched off within 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I think it's all down to confidence, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, David Price is seriously low on it at the moment. So
but like Eddie Hearn said, how long ago was that defeat? Come on, man. If you're not going to get confidence back by now, you're never going to get it back. You gotta. You know what I mean? You've got to get it back at some point. You can't still be singing that same old tune, oh yeah, I'm rebuilding. He's going to be rebuilding for the rest of his career by the looks of it, if he carries on like this.
Hack, mate, you are ruthless!
That's true. I mean, I used to like David Price, but lately I've not been impressed. He's in there with guys that are there to lose, right? And I'm not looking for him to be amazing and be like unbelievably good, but I'm looking for him to look like he's blowing these guys away with ease, and it just looked to me a bit forced, a bit stiff. I mean, the stoppage itself was good, but I'm imagining him with Anthony Joshua right now. I think Joshua beats him. I really do. I think Joshua looks more explosive. He looks more natural. Doesn't look as stiff and forced. David Price, he looks like a guy that he's got power. He's got a big right hand, but he's just too stiff, and his movement's unnatural.
Second coming of Mayweather. That's all I've got to say. Right.
He does look like someone who has just been taught everything and he's just took it on instead of having natural ability. And like you said, like Hack said, Costa Jr. He literally is just there to be paid.
Costa Jr. had 16 wins and 14 knockouts.
16, yeah, but
against who?
Yeah.
Against who? Against who? Let me just get box rec up. I don't know. I don't know.
What round did Parker finish him in? 7th?
Yeah, oh, that was a great knockout, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a proper knockout. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's move on quickly then. So, did anybody see the Huey Fury highlights? We didn't get much really, did we?
No, the highlights weren't very good.
We got a few clips.
If anybody out there does have,
we got a few clips. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's kind of like how I expected. It was going to be Rudenko, even though Rudenko's not like super skilled, he's quite like a spoilery type, isn't he? He's sort of all moving all over the place and holding and grabbing. And I think from what I heard, from what Richie Woodall was saying, Hughie Fury did have a bit of like a tough kind of fight, took a few shots and won a unanimous decision, which for 9 months off, I always thought Rudenko was a decent fight. I'm sure I'm going to go to Hack Boxer now, and Hack Boxer's going to say he should have been fighting Vladimir Klitschko. Give him a chance, Hack Boxer. What did you think of Hughie Fury, mate? Don't let us down. God.
Do you know what? I didn't see the fight. I haven't seen any clips. I know that it went the distance, but I haven't seen nothing of it. So I can't really say too much.
That's fair enough. That's cool. Rob, what did you think? Could you get anything? Could you gauge anything from the clips, or just was it enough?
From the clips, you could pretty much. Yes, they weren't very good clips. You've seen that he got caught a couple of times, but I'm hearing that it was pretty much a 9-1, maybe 8-2. It's pretty comfortable. I think it's quite impressive for 20-year-olds to have that time off, come back, and is it the first time he's done 10 rounds as well? And he done it, and he no problem, and he completely outboxed him. So. I think
Rudenko's quite decent for Fury's level.
Oh yeah, he kills Costa Jr. He kills him.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So, yeah. Hughie and Price might be a fight before anything.
Okay. Did anybody watch the boxeo heavyweights?
No.
God, you lot are terrible. You just start laughing. These guys go through this workout, put themselves in this situation for you, man, and you just laugh at them.
Staying at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch them buns.
Yeah, I got 2 kids, mate. I can't stay up till 4 in the morning anymore.
All right, cool. Well, I watched it and I thought it was entertaining. Right, Thurman versus Guerrero. Let's quickly talk about that. We didn't talk about that in the last podcast. I don't believe so. Anyway, we'll talk about it. What are your thoughts on Thurman versus Guerrero, Stu? I can't remember if I spoke to you about it or not. Do you think it's a competitive fight? Do you think it's a decent fight? Or do you think it's just shit?
Thurman Guerrero, it's good fight on paper, but I honestly think Keith Thurman will take him to school. I think Robert Guerrero is going to take a lot of punishment that night. Just put it that way. Yeah. I mean, we all saw Guerrero in his last fight against the Japanese guy. I couldn't tell you his name. It was a dreadful performance. Fucking Kamikaze, whatever his name is. It was a dreadful.
Fuck's sake.
Rob,
it was a dreadful performance.
Rob, what are your thoughts on Guerrero Thurman? Do you think it's competitive? Obviously, we know everybody's Lord and Saviour of boxing, the Heyman, is bringing us these great fights. Thank you, Lord Heyman, for dropping the sweet manna from heaven. What do you think of this fight? Do you think it's competitive? Free TV? Good fight for free TV? Or you're just not having it?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight, but I do think it'd be like what you say. Say competitive. He will, like Stuart said, he will. I think he will school him, but he'll have a go, Guerrero. I think that's what it is. Just have a go, pretty much. But I think Thurman will knock him out.
Hack Boxer.
I think Guerrero's too tough to go in there and get wiped out easily, so I think he'll be competitive, but I agree, I still have Thurman winning. I have him knocking him out or stopping him late. I think Guerrero's been too inactive for me. I mean, he fought Mayweather, then he was inactive for ages, and he fought the Kamikaze guy. He let the guy, that's it, he let the guy beat the shit out of him, he beat the shit out of the guy, it was back and forth. It was just a mess. Just 2 guys getting smashed up, getting their brains scrambled. Boxing ability, I pick Thurman, and power, I think I picked Thurman as well. So yeah, I got Thurman winning, but Guerrero's tough, so I think he'll absorb a lot of punishment, eventually get stopped late.
Yeah, I'm curious about the fight, and it's definitely a step up for Thurman. I don't know if you guys would agree, but I think I'm still trying to hold on to this Guerrero from before the Berto fight, before he went up, where he used to box and move a bit. I like to think that Guerrero's going to think, right, everybody thinks I'm just going to steam in there and start ripping him apart, but I'm actually going to get on my toes and try and outbox Keith Thurman. Because we know that Guerrero used to box nice. What if he switches up from that shit where he's just going in, starts boxing, and tries to really outbox Thurman over the 12? Would you give him a chance then, Stuart?
Robert Guerrero can't fight like that anymore.
You think it's gone?
He just can't. Since he's gone up in the weights, he's just, like I said, he's not a natural welterweight. He looks flabby. He always looks out of shape, doesn't he, Guerrero?
Yeah.
I just don't think he's, I just don't think that's his style anymore, mate. Just head down, swing for the hills, and that's his style. I just think that's perfect for Keith Thurman. I mean, Guerrero's a tough guy. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to get sparked out in a round or anything, but I'd be very surprised if he sees it out of there, and for the 12, I could see him being taken out. To be honest with you.
Okay, nice one, Stuart. Saul Alvarez, James Kirkland has been moved to. Is it the 9th of May? It is, isn't it? Has been moved to May the 9th, I believe. Where am I? Yeah, May the 9th, because Stuart's Lord and Saviour Floyd Mayweather has taken over that date. So, what do you think, Rob, about this fight? Do you... I'm going to say shit getting knocked over and people are falling all over the show. It's awesome. Rob, what do you think about Canelo versus Kirkland?
To be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Kirkland.
All right, fair enough.
But
have you seen any of him, or just like little bits?
I've seen little bits of him. Yeah. Right. Canelo's a good fighter, but it's like I said, it's hard to call. But I do think Canelo's a good fighter. He just he comes forward and picks his shots well. I think he's a good combo fighter. I heard someone saying he's a really fast fighter. I don't think he's a fast fighter. I think he's got he's got fast hands, like on the inside, but that's about it, really. That's all I know.
Cool. All right, thank you, mate. Hack Boxer, what do you think about this? Do you think that James Kirkland can take Canelo to the proverbial hood, so to speak?
Oh, hell no, hell no. Let me ask you something. When's the last time James Kirkland fought?
Last time James Kirkland fought would have been Glenn Tapia. So
how long ago was that?
Off the top of my head, I'd say that was about 9-10 months ago.
Right, and when was the last time he fought before that?
Before that, the last time he fought would have been... It would have been a long break. So is she... Oh, it would have been... Was it Molina? Was it Molina before that? It was, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
After Molina. I think it was Molina, because there was that controversial decision with Molina. It might have been. Do you know what? I can't lie. I'm going to have to go on BoxRec for this one. Carry on anyway.
But my point is, this guy's not been active at all. He's hardly been in the ring. He's too much time away from the ring. I'm hearing problems with his trainer and Wolf. He keeps switching trainers. He keeps having issues. I just think this is a no-brainer. I think Alvarez is on a roll right now, and I think Alvarez will get in there, make himself look good, smash him up, and probably stop him within 5 or 6 rounds. I think Kirkland's been too inactive. And even if it was Kirkland back in the day, I'd still pick Canelo. I mean, Kirkland's tough and he's got heart, but I just see too many flaws in this guy. He looks a bit slow sometimes, a bit muscle-bound, a bit slow. And Alvarez has got that fluid, he's a bit of a fluid boxer, sharp shots. I could just see Alvarez completely picking him apart, outboxing him, and just bashing him up.
But what if James Kirkland says, well, I know how much Hack Boxer likes his shoulder roll. Let me change my style and come in with slickness then. Would you give him a chance if he changed his style, adapted? Because he's got a new trainer now. He hasn't got Ann Wolf. What if he comes in with some skills? Is that possible with a brawler like James Kirkland? By the way, I was correct. I thank you. It was Carlos Molina and Glenn Tapia. But yeah, it's quite a gap between those fights. Carlos Molina was 2012 and Tapia was 2013, the end of 2013.
There you go. But if he comes in there and tries to do a shoulder roll, it's going to be embarrassing, man.
I want him to do that just for you. I want him to just come
I hope he does. It's like when Andre Berto tried to do the shoulder roll against Guerrero.
That was a
getting his brain scrambled. And the thing is, it wasn't working, but he carried on.
That's what made it legendary. He got dropped with it and still carried on, didn't it?
Yeah, but man, I don't give James Kirkland a chance in this fight at all. I think Alvarez is just too dangerous. Since Alvarez lost to Mayweather, he's looked even better. Since he's gone up a bit in weight, he's looked, he's not playing around. He's fighting tough fighters and he's looking good doing it. So yeah, I got Alvarez winning by KO or TKO, probably within 5 or 6 rounds.
Cool. All right. Anybody listening or watching, if you've got any questions, ask the crew and we will answer them. If you want to get on, send me an email to Wingy Boxing or send me a tweet or get hold of me on the Wingy group Facebook and we'll get you on the podcast. Let's see what that's not TV in the background, is it? That's someone's people shouting. That's cool. All right. Right, yeah, Power says Price has no chin and somebody's thumbed up the comment. Brandonian 3030 says this is cool, Wingy. Hope to see more in the future. Thanks for listening, brother. Zeta Creation says Price knocked Joshua down in sparring hard. I heard. Me personally, I don't think Joshua is that good. Fury dissed Joshua, calling him a muscle-bound divvy. LOL. No comment. No comment.
Well, I hearing what he says about Joshua's chin. He's been knocked down a couple of times, hasn't he? In sparring and the amateurs as well.
Yeah. Tom Dooher says Joshua. Well, he says he destroys Price, so I assume he's talking about Joshua. So if you've got any questions, write it in the YouTube comment section, and then we'll read them out or whatever. If you want to say, you want to shout up. Any of you guys got any interest in Frankie Gavin going up against Chris Van Heerden for the IBF International?
Who?
Frankie Gavin going up against Chris Van Heerden. Any interest in that? Matchroom's first big show in Birmingham. Do you know Chris Van Heerden?
No, that's what I meant by who. Sorry.
Sorry. Hack boxer. Chris Van Heerden.
I think I know who he is, but I'm not 100%.
He's the one who went up against Matthew Hatton. Probably will remember him going up against Matthew Hatton in his last fight.
Yeah. I know who he is. Good fight. I don't know, Frankie Gavin. He's in such a good division, but I can't see him getting anywhere in that division. To be honest, it's too tough. Too many tough names.
I hear you. Okay, so more interesting than looking at that particular fight. How do you think? Do you think Frankie Gavin actually has a future? We saw the Bundu fight, and I take that as nothing more than a loss, right? He got hit with a hard body shot, which can happen to any fighter. He got dropped, and after that, he couldn't recover. He just got beat up. I take it as a loss. I don't think Frankie Gavin's shit because of that one fight. You see what I mean?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah,
definitely
I think
not.
Gavin is back on the same level he was on at. He lost, fair enough, body shot, you lose, you get back up, you crack on. I still think he's skilled and talented. Sometimes he boxes within himself a little. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I don't know if he presses it hard enough sometimes. But do you think he's got a future, Frankie Gavin?
Do you know what the thing is with Frankie Gavin? I think he was a really, really good amateur. And when he turned pro, he kind of didn't adapt as well. So he's still got amateur tendencies. And even Bundu even mentioned that. He said this guy, you know, he's got really good amateur type ability, but going over the long 12 rounds, he does make mistakes. That's why I think he boxes within himself, and you know, he's needs to adapt a bit more. But if he was in any other division, I'd give him a big chance. But that division's just too tough. They're talking about putting him in with Kell Brook, but I just see him getting smashed up.
Well, Bradley Skeet was picking him apart for the first 5 rounds of that fight, wasn't he? So if someone better than Bradley Skeet would kill him.
Exactly. Bradley Skeet was catching him. Bradley Skeet made the fight close, and that's like a domestic level fight. So if you put him up to world level with the top elite guys in the world, I don't think he does that well.
I think you're right about confidence as well. He just doesn't seem. He's never seemed like just happy in the ring. You know, he's not supposed to be happy, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard he suffers with nerves quite a lot before every single one of his fights. You know, I've heard that from quite a few people. So maybe that's why he seems like that way. But
yeah,
I think
I've seen
after
that
defeat and everything, as soon as you put him in with a big name, he'll let the occasion get to him, and he'll get stopped. I can't see him being a world champion. I can't see him pushing past European level, to be honest.
No.
Did you guys score the Bradley Skeet and Frankie Gavin fight? If so, how did you have it?
I didn't score it. I watched it. I still had Gavin winning, but it was too close for my liking. I mean, if this is a guy that's going to be going up to world level, he should be blowing guys like Bradley Skeet away.
Yeah, I hear you.
But no, I didn't score it. I just watched it, just chilled out.
Okay, do any of you guys have any opinions or thoughts? First of all, do you know the whole Al Heyman situation with the takeover? ESPN Friday Night Fights now. Do you know anything about that, Hack? Do you know the details of the situations and the channels and whatnot? Hack?
He's gone. Nice.
Rob, do you know anything about Al?
I don't know exactly, but I know he's expanded his stable. I know he's not a promoter or a manager, but he's got a stable, in my opinion. He's got 170 fighters, hasn't he, or something?
Yeah, more than that now. I think it's in the 200s now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think the TV deal spread over like several channels. I think. It's like,
yeah, that's right. Basically, he's from what I believe, he's now he's at CBS, CBS, Telemundo, ESPN. Friday Night Fights is going to be replaced by, I believe, Premier Boxing Champions, but there will still be some ESPN coverage, I believe. Basically, he's spreading his wings into kind of like the free TV. And there's a school of people out there who are like, this is terrible, I don't like it. Whereas people like me think, this is good fights. I think what it is, I actually think it's quite controversial. I think with Al Heyman, there's a slight association with Floyd Mayweather. And with Floyd Mayweather, most people associate that to be negative. So they see it as a bad thing. Now, in 2014, Al Heyman did give us some pooey fights. But now there's a pretty decent lineup of fights he's got for free TV. Guerrero and Thurman, that's a decent fight. Ricky Burns-Figueroa, pretty decent fight. Anthony Durrell and Sakio Bika, that's not too bad a fight. Bronan Lena Jr., that's not too bad a fight.
No,
they're all right. They think for free TV, I don't get it. People like these are shit fights. They're all right.
No, I've heard he's gonna put on quite a lot of fights, and he's gonna have to use his own fighters against each other, isn't he? As well. So he's gonna have to. Because no one's gonna let they're gonna let him get away with it. Everyone's gonna moan to see all these fights, and none of them are between the 200 fighters that he's got.
Yeah.
No, I think now he's established himself and he's where he wants to be. He's got his own channel and everything. I think now he's gonna finally start putting the big fights together. Hopefully, that's my gut feeling.
Guys, can I put something out there? Just tell me if I'm 100% wrong or not. It could be me being paranoid. Do you think a lot of people don't like Al Heyman because of the colour of his skin?
Not really. I find that a bit ridiculous, to be honest.
Maybe in America.
I don't know. It could be me. I'm just asking an honest question.
In America.
No, I think people don't like him because he gave us a shit year of boxing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. When you think of Al Heyman, it's really negative. Where I do see the poo year of boxing. I remember that one poo year. But when you think about how many bad years promoters generally give us, all promoters have these spells. Yeah, if I was to say who's the most disliked promoter at the moment, I'd say it's Al Heyman. That's the feeling that I've got.
Yeah, that's a good point. But my answer to that is that all other promoters, they're in the media spotlight. They say their piece. They give their view. Al Heyman, you don't get no interviews.
That's a very good point, yeah.
So I think that's what it is.
That's a very good point.
He doesn't get to say his piece, so people will just hate on him.
That's a very good point. All right, cool. Right, moving on quickly. Adonis Stevenson, Sakio Bika. Not a lot of people like that fight. It's not the best fight. It's not who Adonis Stevenson should be fighting. But I still think there's elements of interest there. Bika, Adonis Stevenson? Hack?
I'd like to say a good fight, but it's not really a good fight, is it? I think Adonis Stevenson wins, probably knocks him out. Nah, it's not a good fight for me. I think I heard the WBC are ordering Stevenson to fight Kovalev. So when's that actually gonna take place? Or when's that actually gonna be forced to happen?
Well, Kovalev's obviously got his John Pascal fight first. So I'd imagine after the winner of all of that, it's probably the next fight after that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I hear Stevenson, I'm just waiting on him to actually get a meaningful fight against a meaningful name. Because all these guys he's fighting lately, you're just blowing them away because he shouldn't really be in the ring with them. They're crap fights. Simple as that.
David Lemieux going up at Hassan and Dam. I can't remember when we spoke about that last time. I think we may have. What are your guys' feelings on that anyway?
Well, Lemieux he's a puncher, and he's a good puncher, and he's lately he seems sharper. So but Dam he's got overall movement and that, but I think Lemieux end up knocking him out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good fight. I mean, Hassan and Dam's no mug. He can box. He's got good movement, but David Lemieux can bang. So I can see it being an interesting fight, but I think the power will make the difference. I think Lemieux will eventually catch up with him and get him out of there.
Yeah, the thing is, Lemieux, I followed him for a while. He's pretty come forward, and even though he's changed, I believe he changed trainers, tried different styles. He's still essentially got the same style. But I'd like to look at the Hassan N'Dam and Curtis Stevens fight. Even though Lemieux and Curtis Stevens do have different styles, they both come forward. They're both powerful. They both kind of tuck up a little bit. And let's face it, N'Dam boxed the ears off of Stevenson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll probably lean to N'Dam in that one. All right, moving on. Marquez says he is open for the Brook fight. Would you guys be happy with this instead of Khan after Jojo Dan? Or do you think it's not good enough? Let's get the Khan fight on, because Khan's obviously not going to get none of the big boys.
Do you know what it is with Brook? He's definitely talented. He's definitely impressive. But it's just for that thing of except for Porter, who's he fought? Except for Brian, Carson Jones?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Have you heard?
With Kell Brook, he needs a big fight against a big name, and he needs to really do a job on them. That's what I think.
Yeah, because his record is everyone compares him to Khan. Obviously, it could be. Obviously, I reckon it will be a close fight. But when you're going by records, he's literally fought. I think it's something like, if you actually work it out, his opponents had altogether 770 odd losses. I think it's like I think it's 900, but because he's fought rematches with people who've had like 100 losses already, it takes it down to around like 700 losses.
You had a post about this in the Wiggy Boxing group, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember now. All right, let me just say one thing to you. Rafael Jakowicz. Carson Jones.
Yeah.
Senchenko. Who's Senchenko, you say? Okay.
Yeah, but
who's Ricky Hatton? He beat Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he needs a big name, you know. He needs a big elite name that the whole world's going to be watching, and he needs to really do a job on him and cement himself in that division as a threat.
So you're putting him up to Floyd, ain't you? So
if he fights Marquez, let's say, and he completely destroys him, or he boxes his head off and he looks better than anyone's looked against Marquez recently, then fair enough, you know, he'll do good things for him. So yeah, I could see it happening. I could see it being a good fight for him.
Can we at least give Brook credit for the Porter fight? Because before that, people were saying Porter's the second coming of Mike Tyson, this and that, and he did go in there and he done well. He done well. Can you give him credit?
I'll give Brook loads of credit for that fight, because Porter didn't make that fight easy. Porter's not a conventional boxer. He was just jumping all over him like a Tasmanian devil. So yeah, I mean, Brook handled the pressure well and he picked his shots nicely. It's a shame because the styles didn't gel well. It didn't make Brook look as good as what he could look. So I think if Brook gets in there with a top elite fighter, a good boxer, and he really showcases what he's capable of. So yeah, I mean, Marquez would be the perfect opponent to just get in there, smash him up, look good doing it, and then set up some big fights for the future. Because that's the argument that people are using against Kell Brook, is like, oh, who's he fought? He's not done nothing yet. You know, Amir Khan, he's always saying he's not done nothing yet. Who's he fought? He's not on my level. So I just think he needs a big fight against a well-known opponent. Maybe Marcos Maidana. That would be a good fight. And imagine he does really well against Maidana. At least then he can have something behind him.
Yeah, because I think he would do better than. I think he'd do not better than Floyd. I think it'd be a similar fight to Floyd and Maidana.
Exactly. Imagine he deals with Maidana easier than what Floyd did. That's a big thing.
Well, he'll have to get recognised and straight away. People would have to be like, well, he didn't get it.
I've got to say, Hack, that's a very good call. The more I think about that in my head, that is actually a really, really good fight for Brook, because even though Maidana's got the 2 losses, it's only Floyd Mayweather that he's lost to recently, like in the last 2 fights. So it's kind of like when you lose to Mayweather, it's not really seen as a loss, you're seen as respect. Add on that to the fact that he actually did pretty good against Mayweather, especially in the first fight. I think that's a fucking great fight for Brook. I actually think Hearn would take that as well.
See, I should be promoting Kell Brook.
And you should be promoting David Price as well. DNM.
I'd throw him straight in there with klitschko. I say, use your Philly shell now, son.
DNM Evolution. Right, if you want your comment read out, write your comment in the YouTube section. If you want to ask us the questions, all good. DNM Evolution says Adrian Broner versus Marcus Maidana 2. Who wins? Rob.
Maidana again. I think too much pressure. I don't think Broner's as skilled enough to keep him off, and I think he'd get knocked out.
Hack.
Yeah, Maidana again, and this time he might even knock him out. I think Adrian Broner needs to stay well away from 147 because he just does not look good up there. And even at 140, he's not looking amazing, is he? I think Broner at 135, he was a beast, and since he's moved up, since he jumped up, he's not really looked the same.
I don't know if it would be by, even though it wasn't knockout last time, I don't know if Maidana would drop him. I think that this time Broner may be a lot more cautious, but I still think that the work rate of Maidana is just a little bit, it's just above Broner's. Broner doesn't move, fire off enough shots. And add on to that, if I'd have seen Broner improve in his last 2 fights, I might have had a different thought. But now I'd go Maidana points. What else we got here? Aaron Daly says Al Heyman will monopolise boxing and bring boxing back into the big stage. Yet Power said nothing better than a bit of kebabs on a Sunday evening watching Wingy. You know, brother. Jet Power says I have money on Skeet that day. It's horrible. It's horrible, isn't it, brother? Horrible. Right, let's move on quickly. Next weekend's previews. Right. Do any of you guys know anything about Tony Thompson or Odlania Solis?
Tony Thompson. What?
Or Odlania Solis. Did you watch the last fight, basically?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Last fight, Tony Thompson and Odlania Solis went up against each other. Thompson won it on points. I thought Solis won it. I was quite surprised. I thought, oh, Solis has won that fight. I'll just go to the internet where I'm sure, as per usual, everyone's going to agree with me. It was total shitstorm. Everybody thought, well, it wasn't a shitstorm. Everybody thought that Thompson won it. I thought Solis won it. They're having a rematch, so that's a good fight, good heavyweight fight next week. One to look out for, people. Hack Boxer, do you know any interest in that fight? Do you know those fighters?
Yeah, I mean, has anyone seen Tony Thompson's wife? Has she been found? Because I heard she went missing.
That wheelchair stuff. Yeah, that was sick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I didn't see this fight, but Tony Thompson, he's decent, he's solid. But no, I didn't see this fight. I haven't really been following him since he destroyed David Price, to be honest. Maybe he should fight Price again, number 3. And now Price facing Thompson with his new defence, you know, maybe we'll get somewhere.
Sweet. Oh, you're back. What's going on, Stuart? You right, mate? Stuart, you there, yeah? Okay, no. All right. Carl Frampton going up against Chris Avalos. Do you know a bit about this fight, Rob? You might know more about Avalos than me.
No, I don't know much about Avalos. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Frampton. I've always liked Frampton. I think Frampton, he needs obviously to fight quick, but but I don't. Other than that, I don't know much about Avalos, to be honest, mate. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Hack Boxer, any thoughts on that fight? Frampton Avalos next week, ITV.
Yeah, I mean, the fact it's on ITV is great. The fact boxing's coming back to normal TV is great. As for the fight itself, I don't know much about Chris Avalos at all, really. I mean, that division as on a whole gets my blood boiling because you got 4 world champions and none of them seem to be fighting each other. Exactly. So whenever one of these guys comes up against, it's like the last Santa Cruz fight and Scott Quigg fight and now Carl Frampton fight. It's like, I always question myself is why aren't they fighting each other? They just keep fighting these guys and they're just going to go in there and blow them away. You know what I mean? That division on a whole just gets on my nerves, to be honest. And that reminds me of what's wrong with boxing nowadays.
Yeah, I hear you. Stuart Little.
Chris Avalos, he's the guy that fought Ramiro, isn't he?
I must admit, I don't know that much about him.
Yeah, you know the guy, Kiko Martinez won the belt off Ramiro.
Oh, yeah. Did he fight him?
Yeah, and he gave him a good fight as well.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's it. All right then. What you dripped away. Is there any other thought? Have you got any thoughts on any one of these topics, mate? Frankie Gavin, Chris Van Heerden, Al Heyman's takeover at ESPN, David Lemieux going up against Hassan and Dam, or Marquez, who says he's open to fight Brook.
So you cut out there, so I'll try and guess what you said. Was that Kell Brook's opponents you was talking about?
Basically, yeah, like Marquez says he's open to fight Brook. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. I mean, massive fight on paper as well. It definitely fills Sheffield United Stadium, that's for sure. I mean, Marquez is still a big name. I think Marquez is lost a few yards. I expect Kell Brook to win that fight. I mean, you have to look at the blueprint to beat Marquez, what Timothy Bradley did. You know, use his feet and then go to war when he had to.
He schooled him in that fight.
Took him to school, mate. And I think Kell Brook is capable of that game plan. So I fancy Kell Brook in that one big time. But obviously, Marquez is going to bring his special potion over with him. So, you know, Kell Brook's
did you watch?
Yeah, he turns green, turns into the Incredible Hulk, doesn't he? So we want to hope, you know, that Kell Brook gets the drug testing done, because I don't trust Marquez. I still think he was on roids when he knocked Pacquiao out.
You thought it was on the Scooby Snacks. Did you watch the first Thompson and Tony Thompson Orlando Solis fight?
I didn't know. No,
it's cool. Okay. I don't imagine anybody's going to have anything to say about Denton Vassell being back. I've always liked Denton Vassell. I thought he was decent. Went up against Frankie Gavin and obviously didn't perform at his best and lost. He's back next week fighting against TBA. Any thoughts on Denton Vassell, guys? Any takers? 3, 2. All right, fair enough. Tyson Fury going up against Christian Hamer. Previews for next week's what we're doing at the moment. Tyson Fury, Christian Hamer. Christian Hamer, I've only seen a few times. Christian Hamer went up against Kevin Johnson, didn't he? Is that correct? Stuart? Rob's just sitting there. Anyway, I believe Christian Hamer went up against Kevin Johnson, from what I can remember. Have you seen Christian Hamer fight before, Rob? You there, Rob? Oh, you muted yourself. Hackbox, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you seen Christian Hamer go up against... have you seen Christian Hamer fight at all?
Nope.
Brilliant. I think it should be a good fight. I would do a breakdown for it. But Tyson Fury should do the thing. Christian Hamer doesn't have the movement. Tyson Fury will box him long. And after I saw Tyson Fury take apart my boy Chisora, I think he's going to do the thing and do it.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Tyson Fury in that last fight. A lot of people are saying it was because Chisora was out of shape, blah blah blah. But no, you got to give him credit, man. He really turned up that day.
I agree with you. I 100% agree.
Tyson Fury, since I remember back in the day, his old fights, I think he's the kind of guy that he looks better every time I see him. He's getting a little bit better, and now he's really coming on strong. And he's really looking good. I mean, if you asked the question a few years ago, how would Fury do against Klitschko and the likes of them guys, everyone would just laugh and say, oh, he's crap, he punches himself and all this and that. But
the uppercut.
Exactly. But nowadays, he's looking serious. He's looking good. So he's got a great camp. His uncle's working well. Or his uncle, is that his uncle Peter Fury? Yeah,
that's
he's working well with him. They got a good little camp together.
His dad's back now. His dad's back out of prison.
Yeah, that's it. His dad's back out of prison. They got a good thing going on. He's looking great. I think he'll showcase himself this Saturday. He'll probably knock this guy out or box his head off. I just can't wait to see the heavyweight division light up. And I think Tyson Fury is going to be a big name in the mix.
I really, really like the Furies. I like what they do. I like how they are. Obviously, Tyson's wild, but he's his own man. But I love Peter Fury. I like the way he talks. I like the way he thinks. And I think that these guys are like serious fighters. It's within them. It's what they do. Do you know what I mean? And that's reflected. Yeah. That's reflected.
Do you know Peter Fury is a real sound guy. You know, Peter Fury's on my Skype.
He seems really good. He seems like a really nice guy.
You could bring up Peter Fury now. Yeah, you could bring him up now and ask him to talk boxing with you, and he'll sit there and talk boxing with you. He's really down to earth guy. I like what he's doing with Tyson though.
Agreed.
Tyson's a talented guy, man. Obviously he's out of shape. He looks out of shape because he's not athletic. He's a big lump, isn't he? I think it's amazing how fit he is, really, considering the shape and the size of his body. So I think I think Tyson Fury's the sort of guy. The bigger the challenge, the better he's going to be.
Have you seen Christian Hamer at all, Stuart?
Not a lot of him.
Not a lot of him.
I expect Fury to win this one. I know he's quite dangerous, this guy, apparently, but
when I think of Christian
I'm going to go
Hamer,
Tyson Fury to win that one.
I kind of think of, you know how Manuel Char fights? It's like Manuel Char is big, he's decent, he doesn't do anything overly like shit. He's just kind of like average, you know what I mean? A solid, big, solid guy. That's similar to how I think of Christian Hamer. So I think Tyson should be able to control it with his range. I think he should be able to get him out of there. Chris Eubank Jr. going up against Chudinov. Any thoughts about that? I've seen Chudinov fight a couple of times when doing my own research previously. More interesting than the actual fight is, where is Chris Eubank going now? Rob, what do you think of Chris Eubank? What did you think of his performance against Saunders? And have you seen anything of Chudinov?
Well, against Saunders, I think that was entirely all his fault. I think he froze for the first couple of rounds. I think, to be honest, I think he froze. I don't think he prepared properly. I don't think he got any southpaw. I think he had one southpaw to spar, and that was a light heavyweight. It was slow. And just, let's face it, Billy Joe, he's slick southpaw. People might want to say he's shit. Other people say he's shit. Like Billy's slick. He's slick. He can take a hell of a punishment. And I think it was maybe just a fight too early for him. But when it comes to Chudinov, like you, I think it's hard to find any of his fights. I think two or three fights you can find, and he looks quite tough. He comes forward, but Eubank's favourite punch is the uppercut, isn't it? And Chudinov, he looks really open for it, in my opinion. And I think it will go rounds, but I think he'll a late-ish stoppage, 8 rounds, maybe.
Yeah, see, the interesting thing about it is, as soon as Eubank Jr. come up against somebody who had pretty decent boxing skills, he struggled in the fight. Now, I can't say I've seen enough of Chudinov to say if he got decent. Well, what I've seen of him, to be honest, he's been quite a come-forward guy from what I've watched. So I don't know if he's going to beat Eubank Jr., but I still think it's got a bit of interest in there, mainly because he's like a step up, isn't he? So,
well, it's a belt. I suppose you can call it a belt. It's a belt. It's a title, I suppose.
Interim, yeah. So it's not the main. I'm just curious to see how he does. It's one of those ones. I need to study Chudinov a little bit more. I will do a proper video for it, but that's my early thoughts. Hack, did I ask you about Eubank Jr.? I can't remember.
No, not yet.
No.
I've got a lot of respect for Eubank Jr. You know, I think he's done phenomenally well, because if you look into his background in boxing, I don't think he started when he was young. I think he only had, his 30 or something like that amateur fights, went straight into the pro ranks, and he's just one of these guys that he's learning as he goes along. And he's looking better and better every time you see him. He's looking strong. He lost to Billy Joe Saunders, but come on, man. Billy Joe Saunders, he had like 100 amateur fights, went to the Olympics when he was 18. You know, they should have been on paper levels apart, but for him to push him in such a close fight and make it the fight it was, I mean, fair enough, he froze a little bit, but for him to jump straight to that level and do that well, you know, you really got to give him credit. And he's just, I think after that loss, it's only going to motivate him 100 times more. He's going to be working hard, and I think he's going to be a big name for the future. You know, I really like Eubanks. As for this fight on Saturday, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to look dangerous. I think now he's boxed at that high level on the big stage. Now he's used to it. He's got the experience. He knows what it's like. I think he's going to go in on Saturday. He's going to do a job on this guy, and he's going to be a big name in that division.
Great breakdown. I appreciate that, man. That was good. All right, cool. Right, okay, so Liam Walsh is going up against... Have you got any final thought? Oh, I'm still muted. Liam Walsh is going up against Joe Murray in the rematch this weekend coming up. Bradley Skeet's fighting to be announced. Buglioni and Eddie Chambers are both back in to be announced fights. So that's our preview for next week. We'll have a quick look at any comments in the YouTube section. If you've got to leave your comment in the YouTube section, leave your comment and or question now, because we're going to wrap it up. Just ask any final thoughts, guys. Hack, you got any final thoughts about the fights of the weekend, fights coming up?
We haven't touched on Adrian Broner versus John Molina, have we?
No, we haven't.
Missed that one.
I like the fight. I like John Molina. I think he's strong, he's powerful. Obviously, against Lucas Matisse, he put up a good fight. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a kind of similar situation to Adrian Broner against Maidana, as in he'll go down and not expect to go down. But I think if he does go down, I think he'll then proceed to outbox him. Mainly because when I think of John Molina, I always think of him as being a surprise upsetter, innit? He always seems to get these knockouts at the last minute. I don't got it against Mickey Bay.
Yeah.
He did. Hank Lundy. Did he knock out Hank Lundy or beat Hank Lundy? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Did he fight Hank Lundy? Let me look on BoxRec. I have to look on BoxRec for that. Anyway, yeah. So I think it's quite a decent fight. Adrian Broner should win it, and he should be set up to do well. But he doesn't move a lot, and his shoulder roll can be penetrated. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, Broner's got flaws. He's a bit flat-footed. He doesn't like to move around. His shoulder roll's a bit questionable. But I think if John Molina tries to stand there and box with him, I think he'll get beat quite comfortably. I think what John Molina needs to do is just be a bit of a ball in a china shop and just rough Broner up. Sort of do what Maidana did to him. Push him around, rough him up, and just make it a dogfight, make it a rough fight, and make Broner uncomfortable. But if he stands off and tries to pick his shots and tries to box him, I think Broner will win all day. He might even drop him, and he'll make Broner look good. So if I was John Molina, I'd just accept the fact that this guy's a better boxer, and I'd just take him into the trenches and just make it an all-out fight and an all-out war. And then John Molina has a decent chance. You know, he could catch him, he could hurt him, and it could make it an interesting fight. I just hope Molina brings it.
Great analysis. Basically, you're kind of thinking the same thing as me. I wouldn't say John Molina can box, but obviously if John Molina tries to fight at any kind of distance, give Broner a bit of breathing room, Broner's going to increase in confidence and try walking him down. But if he's on him from round one, speed's over, on him, pushing, bumping him, making it ugly, you see Broner rolling, getting hit and shit, that's the kind of fight which you think John Molina will have his best shot in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Wicked. All right, Stuart Little, are you... Wow, those dogs are going mad. I see why he's muted it. All right. I hear you're having problems with the dogs in the background, brother. And what I'm going to do is go to the YouTube questions. Any final questions you got, anything you want read out, I'll read it out. Then we'll try to see if we can get Stuart Little. I know the people want Stuart Little to speak. See if we can get Stuart Little with any final thoughts. We'll ask him about the Broner fight, and then we'll crack on and wrap it up. We've been going for a while now. First of all, in case I forget, Hack Boxer, can I thank you for sticking by me in this podcast? It's going to be a nightmare. People have gone out, they've dropped, they haven't come in. You held it down with me, man. So
that's no problem, man. Anytime.
Appreciate that. Right, have you got any Twitter, YouTube, social media you want to give out?
My Facebook is just Charlie Boxer Wouters. That's WOUTERS. That's my Facebook. I don't really use nothing else nowadays much, to be honest. So if you want to hit me up on Facebook, that's my Facebook.
Cool, wicked, man. Okay, well, anytime you want on, you're welcome. I appreciate you sticking by me here, man.
Cheers, man.
Right, DNM Evolution says Curtis Stevens versus Gabriel Rosado. Who wins? That's a good fight. I'll go with Stevens, but that's a good fight. Hack?
That is actually a good fight.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I have to think about that for a minute. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
I like Rosado, but I think Stevens will. I could just see Stevens lighting him up with that left hook and just cutting him and making it an ugly fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Stevens on that one.
Yeah, I'll go with Stevens. Kasim, what's up, man? Just got some random dudes popped in. He's not saying that. All right, cool. Tam Duha says Fury did Chisora left-handed. Yeah, Rigondo. Oh, we've actually got Rigondo in the comments section. What's going on, brother? Rigondo says, hopefully Rigondo on the undercard. What are your thoughts on Rigondo as a boxer winger? I think Rigondo is very talented. I think he's extremely skilled. And I think he should remain with his style. What worried me about Rigondo is before his last fight, forgot the guy's name now. Sorry, the was it Japanese, the guy?
Yeah, I think it was Japanese, yeah.
The Japanese guy, I forgot the opponent's name, apologies. Before that fight, he actually done an interview saying, I'm aware that I need to adjust and change my style. And that worries me because he I'm not going to say he got knocked down on purpose, but he went forward a lot more, stepped to the fight a lot more, got dropped for it in an attempt to try and engage with fans and get fights. So, but overall, Rigondo, to answer your question, Rigondo, I actually think he's a great fighter. I respect him a lot. I like his style. I like his craftsmanship. I'm not one of the people who's going to... Okay, well, I do think Leo Santa Cruz is sort of like side-swerving him. So get that fight on. But yeah, I like him. You got any thoughts on Rigondo, Hack?
Yeah, I absolutely love Rigondo, you know. As a proper, pure boxing fan, I think he's a joy to watch. You know, I love the slickness, the boxing ability. He's just fantastic. I don't think he should change for no one. If you don't like him, don't watch him. I mean... I'm the same as you. I'm worried that he might just try and adapt and change to please the fans, might come forward and leave himself open. I don't think he should. I think he should do what he does best. He's a pure technical boxer, and he's an absolute joy to watch for me. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Rigondeaux.
Sweet. Tam Duha says Brook was amazing against Porter. Can't talk down that performance. Yet Power says experience, count punching power. Omar Merriweather says you called it, Wingy. The hate for Al Heyman is twofold. First, he's associated with Floyd. The mainstream fans hate Floyd. I agree with that. Second, he's black and in control. Quite controversial, but I kind of agree with that too. That lends itself to rational hate. Name another major institution like boxing where a black man is seen to be the biggest power broker. Bob Arum has been putting on shit fights forever and gets past the level of hate. It's totally unprecedented. Look, it's not me doing a fake account typing that. It's actually somebody who's written that. yeah. Yet Power says, I see Brook losing to Marquez. Tam Dewis says Superman wins. See, now you're being silly, Tam. First you're writing proper stuff. Now the beer's got to you and you're writing silly stuff like Superman wins. Oh, you unless you mean Adonis. Al Heyman will monopolise boxing and bring boxing back to the big stage, blah, blah, blah. Nice one, Yet Power. Right, that is it. We are done. Let's have one more refresh of the YouTube. One more.
I've got one more thing I want to ask. Does anyone know when Andre Ward is actually fighting?
Well, the last I heard is that Andre Ward has a fight. Rock Nation have a card in like June, I believe, or July. I seriously hope that Andre Ward's out before then, but because Andre Ward is now signed to Rock Nation, it could be as late as then.
Yeah, I mean, since the whole thing happened with Rock Nation and Gary Shaw and all of this and that, is Rock Nation still going to be a major player in the boxing game anymore, or did that kind of mess things up for them?
I was like disappointed in that. I had high hopes. It's not just because I'm a Jay-Z fan, you know. Ain't no love. I love Jay-Z, but I was so happy seeing it. And then Gary Shaw, you know, they engulfed all Gary Shaw and his fighters. The next thing they went. Now I heard that Gary Shaw basically once Rock Nation brought them out, they're no longer Gary Shaw. And I heard that Gary Shaw was like, okay, cool. You guys sort of, you know, have took my company now, but a couple of things I'd like to change. I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. And Rock Nation were like, no, we've brought you out. So you've got no option to say anything. We've brought your company. It's ours now. Yeah. And because it wasn't actually signed, something wasn't signed, he got out of the deal. So basically, once Rock Nation brought up Gary Shaw still had opinions on how to run sort of like Gary Shaw under Rock Nation. And they said, no, it doesn't work like that. So
where does that leave Rock Nation now? I mean...
Well, right now, they've got Dusty Harrington, haven't they? Dusty Harrington and Andre Ward. I believe.
And that's it, really.
No. Weren't they shoot? Did I hear? No, I think it's rumours they were trying to shoot. They're trying to shoot for Rigondeaux, but that's it. That's all they've got. I'm quite disappointed actually because I think a businessman like Jay-Z. That situation with Gary Shaw shouldn't have happened. If you've got a good coup like that and you've picked up a lot of, obviously not everyone knows all of Gary Shaw's fighters, but if you picked up a lot of decent fighters, to just lose that like that doesn't seem like good business. Doesn't seem, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any issues like that should have been worked out before it got to the point of Gary Shaw walking away. Jay-Z, businessman. Yeah, how did that go wrong like that? Justin Bilal says, please keep us updated on whether you get to see the Huey Fury fight. We started, we didn't get to see it. I will do, man. If I find out about it, it's probably going to be somebody who camcorded it, I'm imagining, and then I'll upload it. And that is it. We are done. One more refresh and we are done. All right. On that note, Kasim, I don't know if Kasim is still there. Let me have a look. Is he still there? No, he's gone now. Brilliant. On that note, shout out to Hackboxer, everybody, right? If you like my stuff, if you like the podcast, look who's held it down. Hackboxer has held it down from start to finish. He's kept the podcast going for you, man. Stevenson Tamderman. Sorry, mate. My fault. I should have known that. Eddie Black Superman. Hackboxer held it down. So shout out to him. And we shall bounce. Catch you lot on the next podcast. Should be every Sunday. And with that, we'll leave it there. Any final words, Hack?
No, man. It's been good. It's been good until next time.
Until next time, I'm going to leave you with a bit of beauty from David Price.
I think